Welcome to Confidently Visible. This is a podcast to help you move through visibility blocks such as fear, resistance, and overwhelm to put life-changing work out into the world and to grow your career or your business. I'm your host, Beck Sands. I am a visibility mentor, a certified life coach, and award-winning PR consultant, and I'm based in sunny Newcastle, Australia. Let me guide you to show up as your unique self, share your incredible work, and to grow your audience with more consistency, ease, and flow. Whether you're a consultant, an entrepreneur, a CEO, a coach, or a creative, this is the space to unlock your uniqueness, to grow your audience, to make a bigger impact, all while feeling good about being seen. The world needs to hear your message. Now let's get started. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Confidently Visible podcast. It is wonderful to have you here with me today. I'm going to be sharing how you can create the vision for your ideal day. Now, this might sound a little bit airy-fairy or like something that you don't even have time to consider, but I can guarantee you it is worth your time. If you don't know the vision for where you're going, how can you possibly get there? Now, you may not be able to picture exactly what you want your life and your business and your days to look like now, but do your best because it is such a worthwhile activity to do. If you avoid this task, then you're always going to be at the mercy of whatever life throws at you. You'll probably end up answering to other people's priorities and what they're wanting to build instead of your own. So it's worth going on this bit of an inward journey to figure it out what it is that you're wanting to create in your life, career, or business. Now, one of the best ways to do this, one of my favorite ways to do this, is to vision out what you want an ideal workday to be like. Because it's all well and good to decide what you want an ideal day to look like, because it could look like sitting on the beach and having a cocktail. And that is really fun. And I love doing that. Don't get me wrong. But it's not an everyday workday. I definitely would get sick of that over time. So you don't want to be like thinking about what's your ideal day on holiday. That's fun, and that's another activity you can do. But when it comes to building out your business and building something that you actually want to be in, what it comes down to is actually what you want your life to look like on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so I am going to chat through that in this episode, how you can start to do that, as well as why it's so important. So what I'm going to share with you today is why vision comes before strategy, how your daily habits shape your life, the connection between survival mode and burnout, how to create your ideal workday vision, why spaciousness and alignment matter, how the Magical Morning Script supports mindset and growth, and why visibility feels easier when your life is aligned. All right, so here's some of the key themes that we're going to dive into. We're going to look at vision before strategy. How you spend one day is how you spend most days. Moving from survival mode into creation mode. Creating your ideal workday and lifestyle. Building a business that supports your life, intentional mornings and mindset, as well as becoming more aligned and confidently visible so that you can grow your business. All right, let's talk about the first thing here. So vision before strategy. Strategy is brilliant, but if you don't know where you're going, how can you get there? Okay, so you want to have the overall vision for what you want your life to look like before you even think about strategy in your business. And the reason is this. If you start to build the strategy for a business that has a lot of employees or has so many clients that you need to outsource a lot of it, And, maybe you're busy working in the business all day instead of on the business in tasks that you actually want to do. Okay, so you can see how you could actually be creating the strategy for a business that you don't even want to work in. So you're building something that doesn't align with how you want to spend your days. If you're, creating the strategy for a multi-million-dollar bricks and mortar, like office-based, service-based business where you've got a whole team and you're going to be working very, very hard in that business for probably 5 years at least, and maybe you're looking to sell it down the track, that's fine if you're willing to put in that work. But if you're not, and if that doesn't feel aligned for you, it's just going to be a prison of your own making, essentially. And so you want to start to think about, how do you actually want your days to look? What are the tasks that you want to work on? How does that fit in with your lifestyle? Like, do you even want to go into an office 5 days a week? Maybe you do. Some people do. But I know I personally love working from home, and it fits with my lifestyle to be able to build my work around my life and not the other way around. So I am all for freedom-based business where I have the choice as to who I work with, where I spend my time. And with everything, there are trade-offs, of course. And so one of the trade-offs for me is that it's been slower to scale because I haven't built a team around me. So I could have built an agency from the get-go where I had a team of people doing the work and I was like sitting on the top as a director and I could have done that, but I decided not to. And the reason for that is because I didn't want to be managing people all the time. I wanted to spend my days actually doing things that I loved, like coaching, creating new offers, building things for myself down the track, because one of my biggest goals in life is to actually write books and write more. And I'm very excited to be launching a book later this year. But that requires time freedom, which having a big agency would not have allowed for me. And so you can see how having that big picture vision as to what you want to do will help to inform what it is that you're creating as well as the strategy to get there. Okay, the second lesson here is that how you spend one day is how you spend most days. And so what I mean here is that some of the rituals and routines that you can build into your day-to-day will support you most of the time. Most of the time. Okay, you're obviously going to have days when you're traveling or you've got meetings or you're presenting or you've got other things going on, and that's fine. But if you can kind of create a structure or, a vision for your ideal day, then that's going to support you so much to create the strategy, to create that vision and to hold on to that vision. And to play it out on a day-by-day basis. So how do you want to spend those days? So those small little rituals and routines, and I'm going to get to it in a second as to how you can start to do this and how you can start to nut this out. But this is such a big consideration because you want to think about how you want to prioritize and order your day. So think about like from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, what happens? Like on an ideal day, obviously there's going to be variations, but in an ideal day for you, what's going to happen? And this will help to support you for every single strategy across your life and your business and your career, even if you're still in a career, because it will support you in having that vision for your life and what you want to do on a day-to-day basis so that you're not creating something that is completely misaligned with how you like to spend your time and also your values. Okay, so the third lesson here is moving from survival mode and into creation mode. So I spent many years in survival mode, being a way of thinking, a way of living, like a mindset. It doesn't mean like being in actual life or death situations, but it means like having that mindset that is kind of fear-based and thinks of all of the things that could go wrong. And so you build a life to minimize all of the things that could go wrong instead of building a life that you truly want to create for yourself based on your skills, your strengths, what you want to do with your life, how you can support others. And I believe that all of those things are actually our purpose in life, and the path to true fulfillment is actually tapping into our unique strengths and bringing those into the world. So creating those in the world and using those strengths and skills to support others. So getting out of a survival mindset and a fear-based mindset and into a growth mindset. So what do I want to create? How can I get there? Even in small incremental steps. That's going to really support you. The fourth lesson here is creating your ideal workday and lifestyle. Okay, so you want to start to think about how do I want to spend my days? Do I want my days to be spent actually doing work, or would I rather do creative blue sky thinking, followed by maybe a team meeting where I check in on my team and see how they're going, followed by maybe a podcast interview or some writing or some creating, or do I just want to review work? Like, what is it that you actually want to be doing with your days? Maybe like you're a professional in your field, you're actually doing the work. So you're writing, if it's PR, you're writing media releases, you're sending them out to media, you're pitching. Maybe you like doing that. Maybe you don't love doing that. It's okay. So whatever the vision is, it's not going to be an overnight situation. So it's not like you have to give up, everything that you're doing overnight, and you can always build in an element of things that you like in your day-to-day, even if you have to do some stuff that you don't love as much, because there's always going to be things that you don't necessarily like to do, but you want to just make it an overall picture of things that you enjoy doing in your business and life. Okay, the fifth thing is building a business that supports your life and how you want to live it. So do you want to go to Pilates first thing in the morning? And do you want to be able to go out to lunch with a friend? Do you want to be able to spend time with your children at night? Or in the afternoons, or do the school pick up and drop off? Like, what does that look like for you, and how can you build that into your day-to-day vision for your ideal day? Like, what does that look like? Who are you spending time with? What are those things that you're doing to take care of your well-being? What are the things that you're doing to maintain your connections, your social connections? What is it that you want to do with your days? And how can you start to think about building a business, your long-term career, let's call it, that can support your lifestyle and how you want to live it. Maybe you want to live in, by the beach in Bali. What business can support that? So there's so many different visions that it could be. So you can see how it's so important to look within and expand your mind. Like, do this with blue sky thinking. Don't worry about the nitty gritty at the moment. Like, don't worry about how this could actually happen. Don't worry about the reality of it. Just start to think about that vision and what you want, because disclaiming what you want is actually the first step. Really saying to the universe, this is what I want. I have no idea how it's going to happen. And you won't have any idea until it's done. And then you go, oh, okay, I can see how that happened now. Like, I can see how that actually all came together, but it will come together in ways that you can't foresee now. So don't even worry about that for now. Okay. My sixth point here is intentional mornings and mindset. So this is how I'm going to share with you in a moment. So I've got one more point to go through, and then I'm going to share with you the practice that you can do to help you to manifest this into reality, or create this into reality, whatever terminology you would prefer to use, faster, essentially. So I am going to share with you in a second the process that I use to help me connect with my vision every single day and get really, really clear on what it is that I'm wanting, get really, really clear on what I'm bringing into reality and the specific goals that I want to create in my life as well. Because getting clear on those is really the first step, and it's absolutely key to being able to create anything in your business or your life. The seventh thing is becoming more aligned and confidently visible. So this this process is going to support you to get really clear on what it is you're creating and then how you can build that by getting in front of your ideal clients and also the messaging around what you're sharing with the world. Because if you're really clear on what it is that you're creating in your life and your business, then you can get clearer on how you're going to be talking about that and how you're going to be presenting yourself as well. All right, so here is the process. I like to call it the magical morning script, okay? So even though it sounds a bit woo-woo, like magic, but I really do think of it as magic because this is how I was able to go from corporate into my own business and really bring to life the vision that I had back then of working in my own beautiful home office near the beach, working on the things that I love doing, like my PR consulting coaching with clients that I love, with a sustainable multi-six-figure business and growing, doing the things I love to do, like podcasting, and I've just written a book that I'm launching later this year, and so on. So of course, the journey hasn't been perfect and my day-to-day life isn't perfect now, of course, but I love it and it is the vision overall of what I wanted to bring into reality and what I couldn't see happening back when I was in my corporate days. I was like, I don't know how this is going to happen. I would sit on the bus going from, we lived in Neutral Bay, to Wynyard, and I'd be like, how can I get from here, where I am now, into this business and have that like thriving business? And there was so much fear and uncertainty around that I couldn't see how it could happen until I really claimed that vision as to what I was creating, committed to it, and then just started taking the steps and then grew into the person that I needed to be at each level. So create your magical morning script. This process will be in the book that I'm releasing later this year, so watch this space. But essentially it is a morning journaling process. So you've journaled it, but then you record it and you actually listen to it each morning on your walk or wherever you're going, like on your commute. And it's only about 10 minutes long, but that will really help you not only to get clear on your vision for your life and your business, but then also to bring it into reality. So watch out for my book, which is coming later this year and can support you with that process. But that's all I've got for you today. So thank you so much for listening in and have the best day. Thank you so much for tuning in to Confidently Visible. I have loved being here with you today. I hope today's conversation inspired you to share your unique gifts with courage and to show up boldly and move through some of the visibility blocks that are holding you back. Now, if you loved this episode, I would love it if you could please leave a rating and review and share it with a friend who needs to hear this so that we can get this podcast into the ears of more listeners. If you're ready to become confidently visible for your career or your business, make sure that you head on over to becksands.com and sign up for my weekly newsletters where I share information, stories, and resources that I don't share anywhere else. Until next time, keep showing up as the amazing, unique you that the world needs.